It's 10:15, and here we are. Hey, y'all, welcome. I'm Tracy. This is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Cove, and it's Monday, my day off. It is about 10:15. So my schedule's a little different. Not that there's anything wrong with that, y'all. It's an adjustment time. My roommate has been here a couple nights, and so has her kitty cat. And yeah, so we're going to take it nice and slow and figure things out. And, you know, I haven't lived with anyone other than my mother since college, and my roommate in college for like a year and a half. And of course, when you're 17 and 18, and actually we knew each other, her mother was my dad's secretary. So we even had matching, we had matching comforters. We had rainbows, and actually it looked really cool because our room was super small. I was like, wow, how did this just happen? You know, oh my God, that's another story. So yeah, so it's going to be, you know, an adjustment period. And just like now, I'm sort of adjusting from full hog, declutter, to, okay, we're going to live our life and declutter, right? There's rooms and things I want to work on. So trying to find a balance. So, maybe I have these talks, downstairs, or I do it later, you know, after she's gone for the day. And what's nice is, you know, she's going to have every other weekend where I'm at work, and then I don't come home until like, I don't know, 9:45, 9. And she gets home like 3:30 or 4. So it's nice. This is actually a good solution for her, honestly. She's landed in a safe spot. But can you imagine that she went to take a shower and the hot water part wouldn't come on? And Kenny and I were in there looking, and he recaulked into stuff. I just, you know, as hard as you try, and my mom used to say, Tracy, you do try hard. I just thought, you know, so I texted Kenny, and Kenny's, you know, he works all the time, and I don't want to feel like a burden. I've been trying to think of like, can I find someone who can come in and help when, you know, without, and I talked to Kenny about that because there's somebody coming today to look at the side of my house. I want to get an estimate because it's so overgrown. And I mean, we're talking like 14 years overgrown, and it's not something we would do until October or next year, depending. You know, I don't have any idea what he would charge, but he works for one of my really good people, as you know, wonderful human being, the one who actually told me to get a roommate. So, but I'm kind of far for him. So he may say, hey, and we were honest, he might say, hey, it's too far, not worth the money. And I might say, you know, I don't live in you know, the rich part of town, so it's a little too much for me. So we already had a great phone conversation, but it's a company called like, it's got a cute, I can't think of it now, but basically a home, you know, jack of all trades kind of thing. So a group of older retired people who still want to make money and do things and probably be out of their wife's hair kind of thing. So he's coming today, and I said, Kenny, you know, I could get him to look at the shower thing. Maybe it's something he can fix. And Kenny's like, who is this? Who's this guy? No, he's like, I said, I don't, you know, he's like, Tracy, stop it. And so to accept that Kenny wants to do this, and I'm not a burden, it's a paradigm shift, y'all. I feel like crying. I just count my blessings for sure. But what I'm going to do is we were talking about massages, and he's telling me about a really good person he goes to and where it's at. But it's a little too far for me. But I'm going to hunt that place down and get him a gift certificate for a massage. Because, you know, really, he never really charges me much for his time. I just pay for the supplies and all that. So, you know, that's what people who are family do, right? I feel like he might have said, my mother might have told him, make sure you take care of Tracy. I don't know. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and I'm grateful, you know? So yeah, I'll figure it out. Right now I am working at my kitchen table. I am going to get my art thing on. But what I'm doing right now is, so I'm using clear gesso, right? And what it does is it protects the paper so the paint won't seep through. Sometimes you want the paint, you know what I mean, to seep through. But I'm going to do these transfers, which I've been trying to do a long time. I'm not sure if this photocopy will let it transfer. So if it doesn't, I'm going to take some and go to Staples and just do a couple. So the teacher teaching this, you know, downloaded some photos for us to use. I'd like to use my family anyway. So what I've been doing is taking a bunch of my journals and doing gesso on it, so then I can maybe do a transfer on it. So I've been doing a bunch. And this is a new book I'm going to start working in. Look at it. Isn't that fun? These are some of my favorite books to find, right? They have Little Women, they have Black Beauty, they have all different kinds of ones. And there's a lot of damage to it in some ways, so it's not like, I don't know, I didn't look. I'm sure it's not super valuable. But anyway, so what I did is I gessoed a bunch of these pages, and what you do is you take a gel medium and you put it down and you put it on the photo and you burnish it, and then you take water and roll off the back of the paper. I cannot tell you how satisfying that is. I really can't. And you can also do things on like transparencies. So it's just the whole thing comes off, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It makes it look more interesting. So, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't do well, I can put white gesso and cover it up. So I've been doing that this morning. I'm also working through and getting bags together. Like, this has got papers I'm interested in right now. This has my colors and chemicals and liquid things. And, I have a thing just of like ripped up paper. So it's easy to grab because when she comes home, it's not going to be like this. I don't know if she cares or not, but I care a lot about it. And plus it's good for me to have an ending to things. But again, we'll be working in my library, and Clara spends a lot of time when she's scared under the bed in my studio. So I will be spending when I'm home and she's scared, I'll be down there a lot. My roommate did see her today when she was leaving, and she's so kind. She's like, should I go to the back way? I said, no, she'll get used to this. So, Clara really usually is fine with women. But think of her poor cat. It's her first day alone in a new place without her mom. So anyway, so I said hi to her, but I have a feeling it's going to work out. We're just going to be really patient about it. And, I'm a talker, and I'm going to talk to you guys. And not, I'm thinking about how I spend my energy, right? And, cause I'm going through this health thing, and trying to find out where I'm at and what can I change, what can I change, and, I can't remember if I told you, if I posted it, but my pap smear came back abnormal. But I haven't got my biopsy back yet. And this is the first time where I've had like a portal where your report shows up, but the doctor hasn't looked at it because it says up there it has not been reviewed. So, and I clicked on it when I was literally in the chair right before my tooth was pulled, and I was freaking out. I took some pictures and sent them to 2 different people, like, what does this mean? And, the thing is, we don't know what it means, right? But I also thought, how great are you that you're doing this right now? Like, that is, whatever my body's telling me, I'm listening to it. And whatever it is, it's just to be dealt with, right? Instead of let it go. So, I'm assuming, I don't know, I have my biopsy Thursday. She said it can be 7 days. I don't know. The pap smear came back quicker. So we'll see, and she'll call me and we're going to figure out a plan or, and get things going on that front. And, yeah. So, but I did freak out a little bit, and that's normal, right? That's a normal reaction, I think. But what I'm going to work really hard at doing, and I don't know if it's humanly possible not to click on that link and see what it says. Like, if the biopsy comes back and I can see it before she sees it, do I wait? I'm going to try. Because whatever the information is, I'm going to catastrophize it. And she's going to come at it with a positive attitude and like, listen, this is how we're going to handle it. It's not a big deal. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to work really hard. That's a terrible feature. I don't think that should post until after the doctor's reviewed it. I think then it should show up on your thing. That's, Kenny had talked to me about this, that, he has Kaiser, and at the end of the year, they have this thing called like a K report or something where it gives you all this information. And you get it before the doctor. And he said he read it and it really upset him. And the doctor's like, please do not do that. It's not what you think. You're interpreting it in a different way. I'm looking at a whole picture. But I laughed and I'm like, yeah, don't do that, Kenny. And then here, what did I do? I clicked on a report. But it's human nature. And, but yeah, so today I'm working in my library. I was supposed to go to acupuncture, but the gentleman's coming over to give me an estimate. And I just thought it's too much commotion. I need to call them because when I called yesterday, leave a voicemail, the clinic owner picked up, and she's notorious for getting to tell people stuff. So I told her, remember to put a note that I called to cancel. So I'm going to do that actually when I get off with you. I'm going to call. Actually, I just stopped and called, and she hadn't told him. Just do things in a minute when I can, right? Instead of writing it down, and I get busy, and that gets thrown into paper. You just see all the little pieces of paper on my desk at work. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna get one notebook, which I already have, and just write that stuff down and cross it out when I do it, and might do the week or the day or something, so it's easier for me to find. When it has something that impacts the customer, I'm really good at that because of my brain. I work really hard at it. But anyway, yeah, and I'm still, doing this thing. But I think I'm going to call and try to get a gastro appointment and start heading towards, in this book I'm reading about ADHD, talks about how important gut health is, right? And I don't have healthy gut. I don't. So I'm going to call them and talk to them about that and get a regime, and then, get my colonoscopy, endoscopy. And, that could take months, really. That's what I'm hearing from different people. So I'm going to do that today. But yeah, so it's different, right? And also, because I don't have this overwhelming freaking out about decluttering my house and how can I have someone in here, that kind of thing, having really achieved that and worked like my tail off to get that. So there's still stuff I want to keep doing, and like the garage and my library and my room, and and just keep the flow going. And the studio, I'm trying to figure out a way, like on my days off, I would like to devote 4 hours to decluttering or letting things go. Maybe the days that I'm working, maybe 20 minutes, get some art. I want art time. I want meditation time. So I'm just trying to get my groove going and figure stuff out. And what's interesting that switched for me is I used to tell myself what I had to do. And I'm sure some of you here know exactly what I'm talking about. I would tell myself. And you know what? It wasn't the right thing, right? So now I'm letting, and then I would be really mean to myself when I did not do this impossible thing, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. That's not kind or nice. So now I'm kind of discovering and being curious. I'm like, okay, let's see if this works. And sometimes it really works, and sometimes like, oh, that's not quite it. So I'm allowing myself the time to investigate and discover and be curious and check in with myself. And, and because of my nature of my brain, maybe it will be more fluid and it will change day to day. And I do know that my days off, I would like, when I'm not having doctor's appointments, I would like to, or even then, get up early. And, I haven't been sleeping well. It's an adjustment. And Claire's, disturbed and on high alert. So, it's going to take some time. But, yeah, just be curious and figure out what is going to work for me instead of telling myself some ridiculous schedule, right? When I was doing all this, and if I wanted to work in the garage, I got to be in that garage by 6:30. Or you can't do it, right? It's not good for my health. So other than something like that, right? But even that, if I wake up, I don't feel good, I don't need to be in the garage doing it, and like checking in with myself instead of overriding everything to do some plan that I said I would do, even though it doesn't make sense to do it on that day, if that makes sense, right? And today, y'all, is the beginning of hyperhydration. I want to finish this. It was from yesterday. Hyperhydration, y'all. I'm going to get my water bottles ready. And I'm going to drink, go to the bathroom, drink, and drink. And I treated myself yesterday. I ran in Giant real quick. I wanted to get some bananas. There's so much when I'm taking this antibiotic and pain pills, it just helps my stomach. But I treated myself to a little cup up fruit. Yes, ma'am. I thought it's only $5. You would march right into Trader Joe's, right? And buy some new cookie that was $4, $4.99, whatever. Or $5.99. What makes you hesitate at cut up fruit? You can't buy 5 or 6 different fruits and cut them up for one person. You really can't. So I'm like, this is a perfect solution. Now, it costs too much if you don't eat it. So that's the goal today. I got my fruit to munch on, and I made my casserole, but I want to make some really tasty tuna fish salad, with some chickpeas and that kind of thing. I have to kind of stay away from salad and stuff right now. I'm being very careful. The swelling's a lot better, just a little bit left. But I'm doing, here's the truth, y'all. So I had a Z-Pack, and I took it the first day. Second day, I slept. I didn't even remember the Z-Pack. Yesterday, I found the box. I was straightening up stuff, and I'm like, where is the Z-Pack? I couldn't find it. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to call them today and ask them for a new one. And now I'm 2 days behind. But I was like, okay, angels, let me know. It has to be here. I haven't even taken out the trash. Where is it? And, I found it in an actual CVS bag. So back on that regime. And I Googled it, and it's better just to keep taking one and not do two again. Anyway, so I have to be very, eat stuff for that. But yeah, I've been being very careful. I am not, right. I can feel my stitches. I don't know if that's normal or not, but it's Monday and I see him Friday. So, I'm being very careful and, drinking more shake than anything else and more of my protein shake. And having that casserole, but I think tuna with like, chickpeas and, it's gonna be like chickpeas, cut up tiny onion, kind of thing, and tuna. I think that will be fine. But I need something good like that, brain food. I'm working on my brain food. And I'm reading a really good book on ADHD. So I'm going to gather up some of my ADHDs and do a book talk on it. But it's called either like Smart Ass Women with ADHD or ADHD and Smart Ass Women, something like that. Tracy something or other. But I was just reading the foreword by Edward. It's like Howell. And he's one of the original people who wrote the book on ADHD. And what he's saying is how optimistic she is and how sees it as a blessing, and that it's not that your brain's different, it's just your brain. But she grew up in a household that really was like, oh, that's just how Tracy thinks. Like, not that that's not normal or you're too much or this or that. I'm sure she got a lot of that in school. And she's also super high functioning, and everyone's different. And medicine affects everyone differently, or not having medicine affects everyone differently. But she was talking about how important hydration and gut health is. So, yeah, I'm going to investigate and see. I don't know. I think kind of take a culture. I guess, too, when you're getting your colonoscopy, there's all kinds of things they can do. I got to research that and make sure that I get all that done and get a good idea where I'm at and how to get to where I want to be. So, yeah, anyway, that is what's happening. Little art, lots of decluttering and straightening. So in my library, it's not bad. There's just bags to go through, and that's my landing spot for the vets. But I think what I'm going to do is today is drive my car around and load up everything and put it in the garage. And that I can do that because that's easy enough to do. To get that space clear, and I will have an area, as I'm doing it, and then, not worry about doing everything there and putting out front, but do it around the back. So that's easy to do. And to keep, because I want to keep this area, it tends to be the place right now where I can put things, and that's fine. I do have a cat bathroom to a certain extent. And it's fine when I'm in the groove of actually the first thing I'm going to do today is go through all the bags, right? And figure out what's being donated, put it in the hall. And like I said, come around and get that stuff out of there. And then I have a lot of empties, right? And maybe I'll bring you through the empties. And I don't know what it is about empties that is challenging me to let go, but you know what? At least the bigger things that I know I'm not going to want to carry or move or lift, that's a no-brainer. So that's got to go. And I will offer into the cleaning crew. But right now that all that furniture is still in my garage, and she lives kind of far away, and I don't know. I'm just trying to ask my angels to help me figure out what to do, because I really do want to get that garage. There's a lot I can do right now around that. So that's the thing too. So I need to work on that. But yeah, so that's kind of, I want my library to be comfortable filming, and it's got nice light, so I could sit there and do some little projects and stuff like that. And it's got all my books in it that are going to be used in collages and art or creating. So yeah, I need to work on the carpet because that Clara, for whatever reason, really went down there. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to use my light and see where it is. It's very hard during the day, and then get some painter's tape and block it out and go one by one, because then you have to put something plastic on it and let it sit. So that's what I'm going to do, because that bothers me. Yeah. And just keep on keeping on, right? And make it not, decluttering has been my absolutely number one priority. And now that I can switch it, I don't want it to fade away either. I'm trying to put these new habits in place. So, but I'm excited about I don't know when I say I'm going to make art, it feels like I'm putting a burden on myself, but just playing and having creative time is going to be really cool. And this is an old book I had. I think it's probably dry enough because it's hot today. But it's one of these old-fashioned birthday books. So like this page, I just put the gesso on, right? So now it should be able to do a transfer. But some of these are, so Helen Shaw Phyllis Christmas 1957. I love all that when that's written. And I don't know when the book, that she got it. But okay, so on January 1st, Alice G. Underwood was born in 1873. Isn't that cool? And it tells you if you were born on January 28th, make the most of the talents you are blessed with and ever aspire to greater things. Be cautious and prudent. Never let your jealousy or envy of others come between you and your happiness. Put your trust in those worthy of it. You are sincere and you will win through your sincerity a deep and true love. So, but here we go. Archer Young, 1906. I just love this stuff with this history. You know, so this person, let's see, David James was born 1943 and died in 1976. So anyway, this got a little bit, all that just kind of adds to it. So I will be doing transfers and collages and, you know, just playing around with it. So isn't that adorable? So stuff like that, you know, I kept. And then, you know, this is one of the books that you got to keep it, otherwise the pages will stick together. And in some places it never. So like I just said this, and then I want to find some pictures of, this is the one that's Children's World. I want to find some pictures of children. So like I just said that, so it should transfer. But yeah, so this book is one I made. It's newer. It's got lots of room, you know, to do things in. So much fun. It's one of the second or third book I made. Journal, right? And I have a whole bunch I want to make. But yeah, I just love it. Love it. So yeah, I just want to start doing things like that. And adding stuff to the book. So what I think I'm going to do is get all my water bottles, all that ready. I think I'm going to go ahead and make the tuna fish. So, you know, it tastes better when it sits, I think. And then that's got to be my priority. So don't come up here, oh, like I'm tired, I don't feel like doing it, because that happens 100%, right? And then, yeah, go work on the library some so I can have a place to put all this, that I know where everything is. I'm going to label it, and like I'm going to have a bag that's like color and liquid. So I know where my gesso is, right? So I'm not hunting in bags trying to find it. It should be in that one. And then papers, right? That kind of thing. And then I'm going to have one for the most current projects. So the ones that I'm transferring with the books I've pulled. But look at this book too. So this is Mary Poppins. I put gesso on the cover. I thought it would be interesting to see, because sometimes you get like fingerprints and all, which is fine, but I just thought I'd try that. And then this is some of this Tracy Batista watercolor, which I'm going to show you guys, that my friend gave me. But just thought it was a lot of the brown spots, but I thought that was cool. What's interesting about this one is in German. So now I got to remember which pages I just gessoed. That's hysterical. So I better put a little like mark or something on it. But anyway, it's just the perfect size, right? I love the size. So we're going to have this one. We're going to have our rabbit one. And then this one, the birthday book. And then I do have this one. It's one of the first ones I made. And it's getting a little loose, but I'm just going to throw some tape. So let me take out the paper. So again, so I gessoed, so the transfer should do well. But this is my Jane Chip book that I made my own. Isn't that fun? And there's still stuff I want to do on here. There's my mama. But yeah, I want to start. There's my grandma. Yeah, just stuff like that. So, you know, and then this is one, and then I have my one I work on for class, but I want to practice my transfers before I do that in the class. But, you know, this is one again. So Tracy Batista has these things come out, and I'll show you. But I was just playing around with the covers and putting this in. It's all handmade stuff. Oh my God. So this comes, it's a smaller sample my friend got for me to mess with. But here we go. So this just came off, right? So what I'm going to do is wet it, a chunk on, and then maybe just add some colors. I don't know. Just use it up. I don't want it to be, you know, because sometimes this stuff is just like too neat anyway. I don't like it neat. It's funny how aesthetics change, you know. And then add some more water, that kind of thing. So I'm going to work on that. It's so funny how, like, as I take these classes, I'm learning more and more and more and loosening up more and more and more. But yeah, so this is the one I did. So if I want to do something small, like look at this, I'm working on this drawing. You know what? I love it. And yeah, just doing different things I see in magazines or books and stuff. I'm trying to go through a lot of the books that I don't use as much. And there might be one thing I want to do and just doing it instead of worrying about it. I love this one. Yeah. It's like something of the Milky Way. I am made of the dust of stars. I am a child of the Milky Way. And I want to do like backgrounds and do, so I'm working on this mermaid. I am not calling her done yet. So this is with negative, like you carve the space out by using paint. I still want to do some texture and stuff on the seaweed. And I did a star. I was working on texture, the color wheel star, sun. And then, let's see here, just dots. You guys love my dots, and I can gesso completely over that and just clean up color and start fresh. And so, and this one is these are some of the Tracy Batista watercolors that's on this little palette. This was on, because she does it by hand, and I guess in California it's been brutally hot, so some of it stuck to the cover, and so I've been using that. Anyway, and I gessoed on this if I want to do a transfer on that. So yeah, so I'm just calling it inspiration. I got to deal with this. But anyway, that's what's happening. And yeah, and I have some books lined up for book talks, and we're going to make some. So Beverly's birthday is coming. And normally I go to the Amish and get cheesecake, but I want to make something this year. So it's an almond custard tart, and she loves like almond. And there's nothing really weird in here. It's butter, sugar, blanched almonds, eggs, flour, baking powder, orange zest, milk, lemon zest, 8 large egg yolks, flour, heavy cream, almond extract. I also have an almond paste. I don't know if I could incorporate this in here. Maybe a little bit in the dough for the tart. And the hardest part is, of course, the custard, right? That's going to take some time. And if I don't, I don't, right? If not, I'll make it another time. So, because the only thing I really have to buy are almonds and an orange. I have a lemon. So, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go now, get some stuff done. So, 20 of 11. And this gentleman had a doctor's appointment, so he's going to be here between like 12 and 1, depending, you know how that is. So yeah, so I'm going to get busy, and I have some unusual things to share with you. So we'll be doing that, and we're going to make some envelopes. I'm in the mood to make envelopes. And that reminds me, my friend Michelle is going to be at a craft show, and I need to gather some books up and figure out when I can drop them to her or put them through, you know, our pony. Anyway, thinking out loud, y'all. Okay, and I'll show you what I'm going to send. So we'll see, because she does crochet, and I just want to get her to get a feel if people are interested or if it would sell or not, kind of thing. Move some of that inventory that's been sitting around too long. All right, you have a lovely day, and I'll pop in later.